Got a question for it's time to get some answers, baby. Now we get real. It's time to get down. Yeah, you don't feel good now. That's what I'm
Ooh, welcome everyone. Let me click this button, click that button, because this is a one-woman show. Welcome everyone. Welcome to Reality Spirituality. I'm your host, Global Happiness Specialist. That's right. Inner Peace Practitioner. I'm throwing in Oracle, but most importantly, a student. Always learning, always growing, always expanding, there's always something to do. Bored, it's impossible when you're on this journey, on this mission for self-discovery. There's never a dull moment, trust me. No, but let me just get back to happiness specialist. The nerve, who does she think she is? It's impossible. Happiness all the time. Well, let me just be very, very clear, especially for my new listeners, new followers. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I define happiness as the ability to vibrate an energy of peace, an energy of contentment, regardless of what happens. Happiness is a vibration. It's an energy. It's a frequency. And so having the ability to vibrate an energy of contentment, regardless of what life throws at you. And you know, just like I know, just because I'm a happiness specialist. In fact, I think I get it extra hard if you want to know my opinion. So life throws at you ups and downs, challenges all the time, and it is a barrage of experiences. But the question becomes, can you remain, have an energy of contentment and peace, even though you're being hit with a fastball between the eyes? And the answer is yes, because the good news is, my dear audience, the good news is happiness is a practiced skill. And all I'm doing on this show that I've been live for the last probably 15 years now. Did she say 15 years? Yeah, she said 15 years. Reality, spirituality, the truth about happiness. I'm up to 55 program behaviors. And if you're looking at me live on YouTube, hey, here's the latest book. It was out about a month ago. Program for Unhappiness, Exposing the Untold Truth. Program for Unhappiness. It's on Amazon. It's on Lulu. It's on Barnes and Noble. Anyway, in that book, I list all of the 55 program behaviors. And when I say program behaviors, that's one of the questions today. Oh, and I will get to all of you people, because this is all you people, all you dear audience, because this is the day to ask questions. And I have some people in the queue. And if you want to ask a question live, the number to call in is area code 646-564-9619. Again, area code 646-564-9619. And I'm going to get to all the calls in less than 5 minutes. Less than 5 minutes, I promise. And if you're listening to me live on Noom Vibe, you know what to do. Just ask to join the stage. And in fact, I encourage everyone today. This is one of those lazy days. Ask your questions, and also just a discussion of how do you How do you, my dear audience, because we are as different as our fingerprints, how do you experience more contentment and more peace? It is a practice. When I say happiness is a practice skill, it is a practice. If you've been listening to me, oh, and before I go on, every Saturday morning, live on YouTube again, my son and I do a live show. It's called, listen to this one, listen to this, listen to this. Mother and son making sense out of nonsense, plus more. Mother and son making sense out of nonsense, plus more, on my YouTube channel every Saturday, live at 9:15 Pacific Standard Time. It's a hoot. we talk about everything, and especially that mother-son relationship. Yesterday was a topic. We were on fear, and believe it or not, of course, believe it or not, this person that you're listening to used to how about this? Her identity would, that Rebecca Norrington identity would, uh, consider it, ugh, I don't even, it even bothers me saying it. Considers it good when some people were afraid of me. Having that image of, you don't want to mess with her, that kind of image. Yeah, that was, oh God. Did I say that out loud? So the bottom line is, I was asking my son, I said, well, you were afraid of me when you were growing up. So it's those kind of conversations, very deep conversations, life, uh, relationships, family, but it's on the spiritual tip. So if you're inspired, mother and son making sense out of nonsense, plus more. Okay, back to today's show. And today is about asking questions. And I have someone in the queue. Hold on a second. In the queue, live. Area code. Let me put this all together. Hold on a second. Oh, and if you want to speak with me live, I said this already, but the call-in number is area code 646-564-9619. Again, area code 646-564-9619. And if you want to join the stage on Noom, you know how to do that. Okay, so here we go. Our first caller. I have a few people in the queue. And if you want to speak with me live, just press the number 1. Hold on a second. Let me fix this. One of these days, I'll have a professional studio, but it's not today. So hold on a second. Click that button. And you are live, area code 775. What's your first name? Welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm a first-time caller. My name is Wendy from Gold River, California.
Your first name is what?
Wendy.
Oh, Wendy. Oh, hi, Wendy. Well, welcome to the show, and welcome, first-time caller. I love that. What do you mean you've never heard of me before after all these decades? What, Wendy? What? No, I'm just kidding.
Well, are you intuitive, or is it more of a self-help with your show?
I'm a little bit of everything. So how about this? Ask me your question, and I'll try to stumble through it, and you let me know what you think. Yeah, perfect. And I really appreciate you asking that in the beginning, because yeah, there's some people that call in and all they want is psychic, but it doesn't matter. I have an answer for that too. But go ahead, Mindy. What's your question? Yes.
I recently purchased my first house on March 22, and it turns out it wasn't the best match for me because I am disabled. I use a walker and a wheelchair and cane, and I cannot exit and enter my beautiful home safely, so I have to go to the garage. And I do have a realtor named Geneva, but I do want to avoid capital gains, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Will I be successful in buying a new home within the next 7 months?
Okay, so your question is more on a psychic. What do you feel from? What do you feel that's going to happen to me in the future? That kind of thing. Now, question. I just want to go back to you said in new house. There is no way that construction can make it wheelchair accessible at all.
No, there's an homeowners association, and I highly doubt that they're going to be interested in accommodating me.
Okay, I understand exactly what you're talking about. I'm living in one of those HOA communities now. I get it. Okay. So your question is, do I see or foresee, will you be able to get a house within 7 months, correct? To avoid capital gains, correct?
Yes.
You're
Yes.
okay. So put a seatbelt on if you don't have one on already, my dear Wendy. And and so this is how I navigate through life. I'm 68 years old, and I've been studying this thing called happiness. And again, when I say happiness, it is a vibration. It is a energy. And so one of the things that I talk about, and especially you being a first time caller or listener, is that there are the reasons for the unhappiness comes from a program, comes from a lot of different types of programs. I mean, let me get my list out right here. Hold on a second. Okay, so and in fact, it's in the book, but I just want to just start from the beginning with you. This is your first time listening to me, and so this is good for me too, because there's a lot of new people that have been finding me lately. But anyway, okay, so let me get back to when I say happiness is a practice skill. So I will get to your specific issue. I promise, Wendy. I promise. Just give me a couple minutes to set this up. And so part of the practice, when I say happiness is a practice skill, and the title of the book, Program for Unhappiness. So part of it is, well, scratch that part of it. The majority is having a program that subtracts from your happiness. And so I list these programs, and there's level 1, level 2, level 3. So now getting right back to you, my dear Wendy, coming to you now, I'm getting chills. So you want to know, number one of the things that is a program, which is living in the future, living in the past. And when I say living in the future, there's nothing wrong with getting a reading or any of that. But what I want to say is the practice, if you really want to experience more peace, it's trusting, and that's a practice, practicing trusting that everything that is happening or did happen or will happen to you happens for a divine reason. Now, I understand you wanting because there's two entities. Here we go. There's two entities that are how do I say this? Not living in, but yeah, two entities that are inside, living in this body, in the mind. Scratch the body, but in the mind. And so that one entity, which is the one that always wants to know, I call it the person, the ego, the mind, the personhood, that entity that always wants to know, that does not feel comfortable trusting the divine plan, does not feel comfortable not does not feel comfortable with uncertainty, does not trust that whatever is going to happen is going to happen for your betterment. And I really do mean that with every cell in my body. It happened with you, with me. I mean, I've given this example so many times, but this is one of my this is a big one. In 2018, my dear Wendy, after my mother died, she 2 months later, I find out that she gifted the family house to her handyman. Now it's, what was it? It's 2024. It's 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. I'm actually holding up my fingers here. Hold on a second. Let me do this. Oh, yeah. Okay. Let's see. 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. 6 years later, almost $200,000 with miscellaneous legal fees, blah, blah, blah. And it's still not resolved. Now, you don't think,
I'm sorry.
well, oh, I could just hug you. But let me say something though, Wendy. The sorry, and I get it, but that's part of my journey. And guess what? When I first found out, a couple months after my mother died, I mean, I was this happiness specialist. It took me about 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks, to be able to laugh at that, Wendy. I mean, it's a funny story. Happiness specialist, mother dies, house goes to the handyman, film at 11. But so it took about 2 to 3 weeks to be able to laugh at it. Number one. Number two, what was really going on? What was some of the things that I needed to learn? Well, my dear Wendy, guess what? I had expectations. One of the program behaviors that subtracts from happiness is having expectations. Expectations about people, expectations about experiences, expectations about outcomes. All expectations subtract from your happiness. So now you have expectations. Now you're living in the future. Now you're not trusting that whatever is, and I love you already. It's a love at first call. And now you're not trusting or not practicing, scratch that. Now you're not practicing trusting. It's not up to you. This is going to be part of your journey. See, what the higher self wants, I'm talking about me, what my higher self says and wants or explains is, I'm good with whatever you throw. I know that whatever I need, I have it. And if I don't have it, I don't need it. And so it is a mindset. It is a practice to always, yes, I trust. Do I like certain things? Well, scratch that. My ego, this Rebecca Norrington identity, sure doesn't like certain things. Oh, she complains about everything. She wants to know and complains. And in fact, this living and allowing that identity, that human identity to drive. And when I say drive, I mean drive with holding on to the steering wheel and driving. One thing I can guarantee is that when I count on my identity or live through, scratch that, not live through, but allow my identity to take over and incite fear as opposed to trust. Are you following me a little bit? I know I talked a lot, Wendy, and thank you so much for your patience. Am I assisting?
I'm listening very intently to you and meditating on it at the same time. And I find it very interesting. And there are different ways for me to look at this. I could consider my recent experience with purchasing a home as tuition, learning. And I was taken advantage of by certain individuals, and shame on them. But I'm going to respond intellectually, and I'm a stronger person for it. Will I allow it to keep me angry? No, because this is my life and I do want to be happy.
You know, when you were talking, Wendy, my whole body it was chilling up. And that happens when I hear the truth or speak the truth, but especially from you. I mean, I felt your connection to God or universe, whatever you want to call it, higher source, higher power. The words don't matter. But I felt you right away. And everything that you said, I just kept getting chills and chills and chills, which means that everything that you said is the truth. And so there was a reason why this happened. And then you already said you meditated on it and you went and you were coming up with another perspective. Now you're giving me chills again, because I don't care what challenge I'm having. I'm just going to speak for myself. I don't care what challenge I'm having. I mean, and there are hundreds of them in an afternoon. No, I'm exaggerating, but there's a lot of challenges. But all I need to do is shift, is to practice shifting my perspective. That's just what you said, Wendy. Shifting my perspective, looking at it with a different set of eyes, coming up with a different way to and trust that everything is in order. I mean, that was just exactly what I was what I was saying before you said all of that. And all I'm doing here is reminding you. And let me say back to this anger thing of these people took advantage, because I could say that the handyman took advantage, the attorney took advantage. I mean, when all this happened, trust me, my dear Wendy, I was on fire. Someone was going, heads are going to roll. Someone's going to die. And that was, and I'm a happiness specialist. I mean, I've been doing this work for 45 years. And again, I said it took me about 2 to 3 weeks to start laughing at it. But back to that. And now it's not the mother that gifted the house to the handyman. It's not the handyman that sat back and just, okay. It's not the attorney, which was really the attorney that drafted an amended document, which wasn't even notarized. Don't get me started. It wasn't any of them. I can't blame my feelings, my emotion, my anger, any of that on any of those people, mother, handyman, attorney. Why? Guess what? Oh, this hurts. It hurts me. It hurts me to even tell you. But I'm going to tell you anyway, because we're already stuck like glue. My mother didn't do it.
My wish for you
Well,
is
go ahead.
there is a divine revelation as to the truth of your situation that happened with your beloved mother and the handyman. I want the truth to be revealed as to how that came about. And I want you to be empowered and strengthened by the right resources.
Well, thank you, my dear Wendy. And in fact, now that we're talking, on my YouTube channel, I was interviewed. I think it was maybe 50 minutes, but you'll see it. It's on my YouTube channel, Rebecca Norring. It says, mother died, gifted house to handyman. So I have the whole interview is there. But let me just go back to that. My mother didn't gift the house to the handyman. The attorney didn't do it. The universe, God did it. That was God's plan. I mean, I can't blame that on a person, because 2 years later, 3 years later, even though the attorney went through all of the legal crossing the T's and dotting the I's, and he sent my mother to another attorney. Do you know I got the house back? I got the house back after 2.5 years, but I'm still in a legal battle with this guy, because I'm not going to, because it's part of the journey is to expose this person, expose him. But it's not, but my dear Wendy, I'm so good with whatever comes. And so this is another practice, living in a state of neutrality. Living in a state of staying neutral, where something hits me, I'm just like a baseball bat. So a baseball bat hits me, side of the head. I'm still neutral. I'm not judging it. This is good. This is bad. This is serious. And in fact, my dear Wendy, one of the program behaviors that subtracts from happiness, here we go, is thinking that anything is serious or thinking that anything is important. That's an energy. And no, I don't. It's not serious and it's not important. Oh, you call the right show.
Well, thank you. And I'm also dealing with something else. I almost purchased a house that I absolutely fell in love with, And then by the grace of God, it was revealed, Saved by the Bell, that there were rats. And I had paid $455 for a home inspection.
Mm-hmm.
And it took me a while to meditate on this because I feel like I was led down the garden path by the seller's realtor, and that she was very, it was by design how information was released to me. And so I am going to call the realty office around July the 6th is my 73rd birthday, and I'm going to call, and they don't have a broker in that office, which I'm not sure I believe, but there is a lady that I'll be speaking with, and I put a lot of thought into this, and I think I have the right approach. I wrote it all out last night, and it was like a letter to that realtor, and the way I phrased it was, I find it disturbing that information was revealed to me untimely, and which resulted in me paying $455 for a home inspection. I never would have done that had I been aware that the front bedroom used to be a garage and that there were rats in the attic. And the way I said it was, my expectation is that you refund me the $455. If you choose not to, then I will contact the local board of realtors, because I want to be educated, because I do not want to believe something of you that is not true.
Mm-hmm.
How about that?
Mm-hmm. Very, very proud of you. But however, let me throw this out. Do everything that you're saying that you're going to do. Follow through with your letter. Request a refund. Yes, but do it without this energy of, here we go, without this energy, this thought, the story attached to it, that I was taken advantage of, that I was, all of that, the blame. That's another thing, is blame. Now, let me just say this, my dear Wendy. I've been taken advantage of so many times, and I'm talking about lately. And I'm talking about, PR people, management people, video people, website people. Oh, gee, this was about 2 years ago, almost $3,000 website people. So I get it, but see, but so this is just another way, another perspective, another way to look at it. I'm going to go through whatever I have to do. If I can, write a letter, or I use the term fight, but it's not a fight, but it's a I'm not just going to let this go. Or there is a surrender. There is a surrendering. There is a fighting, but a fighting with presence, fighting with consciousness, fighting without the emotion, because that emotion is all identity. That emotion is all coming from the ego. You follow me? And so the ego will make it feel like it's worse than it is.
I understand what you're saying. However, a fact is, I believe that I was very naive and trusted like a lamb around the fox. And in retrospect, I can see the reality of what happened. So I want to protect myself legally and approach this situation just right, phrasing it in the aspect of I want to believe the best about you.
Mm-hmm.
So if you do not, if she doesn't want to refund me the $455, then I'll go ahead and contact the local board of realtors. I'll give them all my proof, give them every detail about everything, and I'll let them decide and go from there. So, in other words, I'm not going to be threatening in any way, but I'm really saying that I'm approaching her with kindness and that I want this handled professionally.
Mm-hmm. And I know exactly what you're talking about. You're just taking care of your business. And all I'm going to say, and then there's another step after you do that and she doesn't refund and you contact the realtors. And then the last step is small claim suit for 400 and
Yes, but I'm going to contact the local board of realtors, and I believe that if I wanted to, I could do a complaint against unethical behavior. And I'm trying to avoid doing that out of the kindness of my heart. And quite frankly, I am deeply concerned regarding the people that bought the house, because she told people, I found out, it's documented, she told other realtors and the prospective new buyer that I had cold feet. That is a lie. So I'm approaching this matter in more of an aspect of, you made a statement about me, and I am very concerned because anybody that makes a statement about me, I want it to be absolutely the truth. So I think my approach is hopefully it's safe, and she probably makes quite a bit of money as a realtor, but I feel like I was walked down the garden path, and I think that the way I framed my approach, she might feel compelled to write me a check for $455. She may or may not.
And so with all of that, she may or may not, and with all that, have zero expectations. And also know, this is going to really sound crazy. Okay, this is really going to sound nutty. And everything has already been decided, regardless of whether you write a letter or you don't write a letter, whether she's going to give you back or gift you back the $400 for the appraisal or not. It's already been decided. Oh, the home inspection. It's already been decided. Oh,
The point being, I never would have done the home inspection had I been aware that there were 5 rat traps in the backyard and active rats in the attic.
I understand what you're saying, my dear Wendy, but I'm attempting to have you look at this with a bigger view, with a bigger perspective, as opposed to this wouldn't have happened if I didn't do this, and if I would have known that, then I wouldn't have done that. All of that is, let me just share this really quick example. When was it, late 90s, before the World Trade Towers were blown up. So I went all the way up to the top of the tower. It was the one with the antennas, all the way up to the top of the tower. And on the top of the tower, the World Trade Centers, I could see the Brooklyn Bridge. I looked down and I could see the Brooklyn Bridge. I saw a small plane flying. I saw the 5 boroughs. I mean, the Hudson River, the Atlantic Ocean. From the top of the World Trade Center, the view was indescribable. And then after I left, going down the elevator in the lobby, then there's a view which is not as big, not as much. I've got a view of the lobby. So it depends on where you are going to look. I mean, you're viewing this from, come on, from a very small, scratch the small. You're viewing this in a limit with one perspective. That's what I want to say. You're viewing this with one perspective. There's other perspectives that you could look. You said it earlier. After you listened to me, you said it earlier. You said, I'll shift my perspective, and your energy already shifted. And so all I'm saying is to stay there, or to practice staying there, as opposed to being not a victim. I don't want to use that word victim, but I'm going to use that word, because you're not. I'm not. Even though people took advantage, I'm still not a victim. It happened. There was a reason. There is a reason. What is the reason for the challenges? I'm just going to speak for myself. Is for me to transcend, to get to another level of consciousness, awareness, and understanding. That's why all these challenges are here, to transcend. to another level.
I follow what you're saying, but a thought has occurred to me that I have to make a personal choice to dwell on this or be empowered. And a lesson I've had to learn is to stand up for myself. So part of this, by me addressing this, is I can look back on this and tell myself, I stood up for myself. I approached it legally and intellectually, and because if I do nothing, then that would bother me. And also, it may help other clients of the seller's realtor, because she'll be more aware that there might be more people, more buyers that wake up and realize what happened. And I think that too many people don't look into matters the way they should. I do have a skill of meditating, and I'm a great researcher. I should have become a paralegal. I would have made an attorney look so good. It might also be, I believe it would help other people in the world, because when she is the selling agent, hopefully she'll be more ethical in her behavior.
Now, you know what, Wendy, I'm just going to have to stop you, and only because now when you are, scratch the you, I'm just going to speak for myself. If I am ever in anybody else's business trying to promote change in someone else, and having the sense that I am and I get it. I promise you, I understand where you're coming from. But now but that's another program of thinking that, and there's two words I never use, and you used one of them. I never use the word should. Should is another programmed word. It's a man-made word. I should. The should has a lot of judgment on it. All judgments subtract from happiness. And so I'm just letting you know, because I'm coming from the outside looking in, on the outside, and I can feel you and your focus. And what I want to say is, whether you write the letter or you surrender and do nothing. See, you have another thing about, if I do nothing, then that means, and then you have a long story attached to the meaning, if I do nothing. And I'm here to tell you, from a person that always used to fight, always used to fight us to sign letters. I am a paralegal. I worked in a law firm. I worked in the largest law firm in California, the Attorney General's office. So with all of that, but all I'm saying is, there is a do what you're doing, do whatever you're inspired to do, letter, no letter, but let go of the stories that you are attaching to why you're doing it. Let go of the stories that are saying that this person is unethical, because you know what? Damn it. I hate this. I hate this part of the practice. Whatever I label someone else, I hate this. I hate this, Wendy. Whatever I label someone else, whether it's aggressive, narcissist, racist, unethical, mean. What was someone? I was reading a post the other day, and it said, "Are you a giver or a taker?" And so the person, global person, was ragging on takers. If you're a taker, be a giver. Now listen, God, the universe shines the sun on the serial killer and the Pope. So it's this judging others. And I'm not saying not to do it or judging you for doing it. I'm just letting you know where it's coming from. And it's not coming from your higher self. And if you do want more peace, and if you do want to experience more contentment, that energy, then it's coming from living from the higher self, not the ego that is going to tell you all the stories. See, the ego has a story, a thought, a story. That's how you know. That's how you know it's coming from the ego. There are no stories in the universe. In fact, this one of the guys I'm studying now, Nikola Tesla, made Einstein look like a third grader. One of his quotes, this is one of his famous quotes. He says, if you want to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. If you want to find the secrets in the universe, think of energy, frequency, and vibration. And so the stories are none of that. Aren't energy. Well, scratch that, because of course they have an energy to them, but it's a low vibrational energy. You're following what I'm saying. You get me.
Well, I understand what you're saying, but I also feel like the universe wants me to stand up for myself. And
no, that's not the truth. That's not the truth.
I wish her kindness.
Okay.
And blessings. I do. And that's why the way I phrased this letter, that I don't want to think wrongly of you. If it turns out to be appropriate, then I will share everything I have with the local board of realtors and let them educate me.
All right, Wendy, and I understand what you're saying. I promise you I do. But you said something that is not the truth, that the universe wants you to stand up for yourself. No, that's not coming from the universe. No. that's coming from the identity of Wendy. That's not a universal command. I want you to defend yourself, but I get it. I promise you. I'm talking about, I used to write letters all the time, and now I get to the point where sometimes if I'm inspired, yes, and if I'm not inspired, I just surrender. And it's not about what the universe. It's not. It's the experience is not about a small. It's bigger. This is what I want to say. It's bigger than you and I can ever even comprehend, this divine plan.
Well, it's my reality and my truth that I have a responsibility to myself to do what's right and be a good person, be a Christian, and grow as a person. And I am not going to allow myself to be depressed about it. And part of my recovery from that experience is I want to be educated, and I don't want to think ill of another human being if it's not true. That's not fair to that other individual. So it's also about growing in my strength, because when you get angry, then you lose some of your strength, and you want to keep the right perspective. So it's also about keeping me on track. And for me, it is my belief that the universe wants me to stand up for myself and be strong and be truthful and be a good person. So from that perspective, I am going to approach it. I will be very legal and very kind in my approach, but I'll also be very explicit about what I'm looking for. And so with that being said, I believe I have excellent intentions.
Okay, well, how about this? I agree. You do whatever you're inspired to do, and I am going to challenge you. This is because I it's one of the things I do. Have you heard of Byron Katie? Byron Katie. BYRON KATIE.
BYRON?
Yes, BYRON Katie. Byron Katie.
Hypno.
Okay, so when we're off the phone, Google Byron Katie. She does this or has this. It's called the work. Her approach to spirituality, life is called the work, and there are 4 questions that. Let me see if I can pull it up really fast. Hold on a second. Oh, look at me multitasking. Let's see. Hold on. And so there are 4 questions to ask. Let's see if I can do it really quickly. The work of Byron Katie. The work is a practice. What are the 4 questions? And the only reasons, okay, here we go. And the only reason why I brought up Byron Katie, Wendy, is that you make statements, and I'm throwing it out. You make statements and you say, well, it's my truth and it's the truth. And I'm here to tell you that some of the statements that you made are not the truth. However, these 4 questions, and one of the things that Byron Katie is just sharing with people. So when you make a statement, not just you, me, anybody, when you make a statement, the first question you ask, is it true? So your statement was, I believe that the universe wants me to stand up for myself. Is that true? And then the second question is, can you absolutely know that it's true for sure? So the first question is it true? The second question is, can you absolutely be sure that that's true? And then the third question is, how do you react? How do you feel? What happens when you believe that thought or you believe that story? And then the fourth question is, who would you be without that thought? So that's just another practice to just to research, because it's really coming back to what is the truth and what is not. And the ego is so tricky. It'll make me believe that it's from the universe, and it's not. You can tell what's universal and it's not, and it's just man-made. It's actually yeah, the universe doesn't it's like the well, this is my perspective. Is like the universe, these people that win games, NBA championship, Super Bowl. Well, thank God. I prayed to God. So God has a team. God has a team. So all I'm saying is, and this is just my perspective, so let me just be quiet. But I really do appreciate you calling and sharing with us. And I hopefully this won't be the last time you listen. And back to your question about the 7 months, will you be able to purchase a house? The answer is, you will purchase a house within 7 months if it's part of your divine plan. If it's not part of your plan, you won't. Something else will happen. Something else will come up. I am not the designer. I am not the creator. I am not the architect of this plan. I've already given it up. I'm not. So when you trust that, when you trust that and you let go and you are at peace with uncertainty, there's nothing to worry about there. Oh, and I wanted to say one last thing about, you talked about anger, getting angry. This whole anger thing, all the different emotions, from anger to sadness to loneliness to happiness to joy to glee to irritation. We are all human, and we're here, and we feel. I feel a lot of emotions all throughout the day, all different kinds of emotions. One moment I can feel light and airy, and the next moment I could just be in my head with the ego going around and around and around with the stories. But the emotions, I practice not labeling them. Emotions happen when it's time for them, when it's time for me to experience them. And I can't point my finger at, I'm angry because, or I'm sad or happy, even happy. I'm happy because. There's nothing external that is responsible for my emotions. I'm just human. I'm feeling all different kinds of emotions, and I always will until I breathe my last breath. But I'm not going to label them, and I'm not going to attach my emotions to an ego-authored story. I know that was a lot.
And I deeply
That was a lot. That was a lot to say, and I appreciate you, Wendy. And anyone else, I mean, I can't even believe the time, but I wanted to know if you're in the queue, if you want to say, if you want to say hello. If you have a question, the number is area code 646-564-9619. Again, area code 646-564-9619. Or if you're on Noom or Noom Vibe, ask to join the stage. Come on, ask to join the stage. Come on, I'm here. I'm here. And that's another thing. It's interesting how you see why I don't have any friends. I saw a quote, and it said that, actually it was on my phone, so I can't open it. It said that once you believe a lie, it's it's almost impossible to find the truth, or something like that. It was very profound. But yeah. Okay, so back to the show. This is one of the questions that I received. Again, and if you want to ask to join, come on, new Vibe people. Come on. I'm not that scary. Okay, so this is a question that I received. What worries you right now? What worries you right now? I don't know why anyone would ask the question of a happiness specialist. And let me just, without the joke, let me just say that one of the program behaviors that subtracts, and everybody knows this, is worrying. And I get this all the time. Well, worry, it's normal. It's natural. Yeah, I worry. Yeah, that's normal. And I'm here to tell you, no, worrying is not normal. No, worrying is not natural. No, worrying is a program. And so to eliminate the programs takes time, takes patience, and it takes commitment. And there's only two reasons why people worry. I'm worried I can't get the top off this water bottle. Hold on a second. There's only two people. There's only there's only two reasons why people worry. Number one, they're programmed to worry. And number two, lack of trust. You can't worry and trust at the same time. So that's number one. So the answer to this question, what worries you right now? Absolutely nothing. What worries me right now is nothing. Now, it may sound crazy. It may sound unbelievable. But after 45 years of this, my dear audience, I already know I'm either surrendering to it. I'm either surrendering to the moment. I'm either living in neutrality. I'm either living in a state of neutrality, or I'm living in a state of judgment. And when you practice living in neutral with neutral energy, when you practice living with neutral energy, that means that whatever happens, whatever cross the path, this journey we call life, whatever happens, there's no judgment about it. There's no judgment. Oh, this is good. Oh, this is bad. Oh, this is wanted. Oh, this is unwanted. And it's tough. One of the hardest things to do, and I did, Wendy, she hung up. But one of the hardest things to do is to look in the mirror. One of the hardest things to do is look at self and say, "Oh, I need to change. Oh, there's something that I need to do different." All right, come on, Noom Vibe. Join the stage. Come on. Come on. I'm begging. I'm begging. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. All these people joining the show. Come on. I got people listening. Come on, everyone. Join the show. Let's chat. Or not. Okay. So what worries me right now? Absolutely nothing. I mean, blind trust. And it didn't happen overnight. Let me just share this trusting. No, but at 68 years old, I'm done worrying. It's over. How do you balance self-care with care for others? You know, this whole self-care word self-care. Well, what is self-care? I'll share with you what I believe self-care is for me. It's being able to live in the moment, living in the present moment. Self-care is recognizing the difference between the higher self and the ego. That's self-care. To know which entity is having more of an influence or more power or more focus. Is it my higher self or not? That's self-care. To know who am I identifying with? And I challenge all of us. I challenge all of you. Okay, let's see. You will not experience real freedom until you stop identifying with your person. That's not my quote. That's from Moji. And if you haven't listened to Moji on YouTube, I highly recommend any of his videos. And I just found him a couple of months ago, but this teacher has been on for years. Mooji. He said, you will not experience real freedom until you stop identifying with your person. And I was identifying with that Rebecca Norrington for a long time. And that Rebecca Norrington identity is hostile to the truth. And so what I've been practicing lately is just practicing observing, practicing witnessing, practicing observing the identity, the ego's identity. And do you notice that even waking up, just the mind just starts going, that the mind will go and go and go and come up with a story after story after story non-stop until I say, I'm not that identity. I'm not angry because of a story. I'm feeling this way just because it's time. I'm not feeling maybe lack of inspiration because of a reason. Oh, I'm blocking a chakra. One of my chakras is blocked. No, I'm feeling a certain way only because it's time. I know. That's why I don't have any friends. How do I practice humility? The only reason anyone needs humility is because you believe that you're separate. No, it's not a separation. We're all one. You see, you hear how I'm saying that with a lot of excitement. We're all one. In fact, that's one of the things I could have said or didn't say, but you see, could have said to Wendy, my dear Wendy, is that whoever you encounter, you're really encountering yourself. Oh, it's the worst. It's the worst because we are all one. We're a consciousness having a human experience. Humility doesn't exist in the universe. There's no need. Oneness, the practice of oneness, the belief, the knowing, the trusting, the oneness eliminates the reason, the use of the word humility. Another human word. Okay, and then let me go to this one: planned existence versus spontaneous existence. So you're either and that's another. Who do you think is responsible, or who do you think has an identity of a planned existence or a spontaneous existence? Which one do you think is universal? Planned or spontaneous? Planned existence or a spontaneous existence? Anyone else have questions? I quoted this Nikola Tesla. If you want to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration, not one about a story or words. Energy, frequency, vibration. Truth has a frequency. Falsehood has a frequency. Contentment has a vibration, a frequency. And I contend when you practice eliminating these program behaviors, one by one, I'm up to 55, you will experience more contentment. And more contentment, what does that mean? That means living in the present moment, practicing living in the present moment. And the other thing I want to say is this I don't know about your ego, but my ego loves to latch on to, oh, I can assist, I can help so many people. Oh, I can motivate and inspire so many people, change in the world. Now, I'm not poo-pooing any of that, but I had to let that go. I'm not. I'm not even a speck in the bigger picture. And so things will change and shift and grow and expand when it's time, and not one moment sooner. My ego doesn't want to hear that. My ego needs a plan. My ego needs to think that it has power to do something, to change something, to create, to manifest. Sorry to burst everybody's bubble. Yeah, you manifestors. Well, manifest yourself 3 inches taller. Manifest a new star. Manifest a new planet. Manifest the fountain of youth. Manifest world peace. Let's start manifesting all of that. She said. Well, that's the end of today's show. Thank you for listening. Reality Spirituality Radio is heard every Sunday at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And now every Saturday at 9:15 live, brand new show, Mother and Son Making Sense Out of Nonsense, plus more. 9:15 Pacific Standard on YouTube. My first book, Reality Spirituality, The Truth About Happiness, can be purchased on Amazon. And then I've also written a couple of chapters in some collaborative books. The one is the book I read, and the other one, what is it? What was that one called? If I Knew Then. And until next week, my dear audience, I want you to remember who the hell you are. You are a physical extension of the universe. Your conscious energy, which is always evolving, always changing, always growing. Love is patient and love is kind. Be patient and be kind to yourself by accepting yourself in every moment. Be your own best friend. Remember, you cannot have a happy ending to an unhappy journey. It is about the journey. You've been listening to Reality Spirituality Radio with yours truly, happiness specialist, Rebecca L. Norrington, which is just an identity. Remember, happiness is a practice skill. And I promise you, the more you practice, the more peace you're going to find, and your experience in every moment reflects on what you practice. Thank you for listening to the show.
Got a question for all our enemies. Now you get real. Get down. Yeah, you are real good. Real good.
Thank you for using Blog Talk Radio.